really kind of does notice this is that Ellie from the HBO TV show is actually Asian, comparing the Ellie from the video games and
What was that? Notting, bro, what the Asian from Nottingham? Robin Hood is in the fucking picture. What are you talking about? The Last of Us, a video game that I think is pretty good. The Last of Us Part 2, a video game that I think is excellent, possibly one of my favorite of all times, now has a show on HBO called The Last of Us. So there's been some discourse. I engaged with some of it over on Reddit on my free time, and I don't think there are rules on raid size now. Probably not. I'm assuming not. I would assume no, but I'm not sure. I will look into that. But anyway, what am I thinking? The show premiered last Sunday. Pretty big, very good premiere, but I engaged with some discourse on Reddit about the casting decisions and the casting, and this is accuracy that that the show fell under some scrutiny with some fans of, and I have not seen this yet. But this person, reading their description, I'm kind of curious to see what their they kind of seem to hold the same opinion with the person I was arguing with. So, indulge me for a bit. We'll do some video game stuff. I feel like I don't talk about video games that much here, even though like I have 8-bit stuff on my graphics over there. But anyway, let's just get into it. I just want to see, what are people thinking of the show?
The Last of Us HBO TV show
You're
is
loud.
on the 14th of January.
Not too bad though.
And as far as what I personally feel about this entire show, the casting and everything, I would say that the main two protagonists to cast that HBO has chosen for Joel and Ellie is just not something that I personally think is the perfect one. Now, of course, Pedro Pascal is a great actor and whatnot, and I think he would do a great job in terms of acting-wise, playing.
Now, luckily, we have the power of hindsight. To react to this, to which we can agree. Pedro Pascal did an amazing job. Bella Ramsey, amazing job. Excuse you? Okay.
Portray the character in a really good way, but when it comes to how the character looks like in terms of how we've seen with the video games adaptation, since this entire series is basically based on a video games adaptation, obviously fans are going to be expecting the characters to at least look similar. But when it comes to the character that they've chosen,
I appreciate that backhanded compliment.
Ellie, dude, on the other hand, she's completely just out of the picture here. When there were
Why are we showing a picture of her from Game of Thrones?
Description better, because when it comes
Oh, I've seen this girl. She's in I've seen her in a few things. Very good. Hugh Jackman. Makes sense. I don't see it. People say it. I don't see it. I don't see fucking Jamie Lannister as Joel that well. I can see it with the Hugh Jackman, but also I feel like if you want to experience that story with Hugh Jackman, just watch Wolverine. Wolverine's basically the same story. Actually, now that I think about it, it really is the same story.
To Joel, well, my number one selection for Joel to be casting would always be Hugh Jackman, who's going to be on my number one list. And then the second one would easily be Geralt Butler, the guy from the 300 movie. If you guys have seen that one, he plays Leonidas, the Spartan leader, and he would be a perfect choice in order to play Joel as well. Have you guys seen some of the shots, some of the photos of this dude, where they basically look very much identical as Joel from the video games adaptation?
I mean, I guess.
Live action show based on a video game, they would of course at least need to consider how fans basically fell in love with these characters. And now, of course, there's nothing wrong with Pedro doing the role and whatnot, because Pedro is a great actor. I've seen his movies in so many different shows and all that stuff. And he's also done a really good part in HBO's Game of Thrones. He nonetheless
is like the best part of season 4.
Actor, but that's not the biggest.
Probably the best season, honestly.
The only biggest issue that I personally think that HBO should have casted better characters for the casting of Joel and Ellie, because they were different actors who are also really good at acting. At the same time, they also look like Joel from the video games.
So okay, so this is kind of what I'm looking for here on this one. So when you're casting from source material, especially when we're talking video games, a question a lot of people always have is how far do you stray from the digital portrayal of the character, which I think is, in the very least, a mildly interesting conversation. The thing that I'm interested in is in what this person's opinion is in terms of how the quality can be affected by accurate casting, in so much that Sarah is in the show is played by a black actress. Now, if you watched the show, the characterization of Sarah is rather accurate, but also a lot more fleshed out. You get a lot more time with Sarah as a character on the show than you do with Sarah as a character in the game. But overall, the characterization is equal, if not greater, since we're getting more time with her, right? But a sticking point I noticed people had was, for whatever reason, they had an issue with a black actress portraying what was originally a white avatar, essentially, right? Which kind of came up with I got in an argument with somebody where they kept arguing that, like, well, it's not an accurate portrayal. To which I asked them, what about accuracy are we talking about? Because if you're asking me, right, if you're asking me, like, what I look for in adaptations, I'm not looking for, like, perfect visual recreation, because at the end of the day, these characters are constructed from fucking ones and zeros. Sarah does not even really look that much like, well, actually no, Sarah in the game looks mostly like her actress, with features toned up, toned down, hairstyle slightly changed. She is a creation of pure fiction, right? Whereas when you're casting for a show, you're casting for a television show. You have to use people that just exist. So there are obviously going to be limits to how close you can get to the video game portrayal, right? And I find it interesting that there are people who find that the show's version of the story, the show's the show's accuracy is hindered or flawed because of this rather small change, considering the writing is just as strong, if not stronger, and the character is more three-dimensional, if not as equally three-dimensional as she was in the original telling of the story. So, and what it comes down to me is priorities. If you're prioritizing the model that the characters the characters model over their writing, over their characterization, over their the things that make them like a fleshed out real character, I question where your biases lie. Now, I said this to somebody on Reddit and they got very defensive, which I can understand. They probably thought I was subtly calling them racist. I wasn't, but it's what I'm going to be looking out for here.
But at this point, I just feel like HBO just went on and recasted everyone that was in Game of Thrones and every actor that they were familiar with and have already worked on. Because most of the actors that you see in the HBO's TV show of The Last of Us are pretty much
that would be called Connections.
Game of Thrones shows. So HBO is very familiar with these actors. And guess what? They didn't really have to do a lot of work in terms of just going ahead and searching these actors to play these roles. And there has been
okay, this is a cringe opinion for the simple fact that casting is not easy. And it's a misunderstanding of how production works in film.
Fan casting.
First of all, you've got to line up if you want to cast any combination of these people, you have to line up their schedules and make sure that they're free, along with pay somebody like Hugh Jackman, which is going to cost you a lot more money than if you pay Jamie Lannister over here. And I know that because I don't know that actor's fucking name. I only know him as Jamie Lannister. Same with homegirl down here from what's that fucking movie, Booksmart. I don't know this actress's name. She's gonna cost a lot less than even if you want to cast. Wait, who the fuck is what is this girl from? Wait, this is the girl from fucking It, dude. Yeah, she's gonna cost you way more money, like, because she's been in a major motion picture that like made millions. This person was in mostly indie films. Like, yeah, the costs to these things.
In that one and Geralt Butler in. There are so many different actors. They could have also chosen Nicolas.
It's Geralt, not Geralt.
Played the King of Lancasters in Game of Thrones.
I just don't see it.
To play as Joel.
That doesn't look like Joel.
He also looks very similar to Joel. They had so many different options.
That doesn't.
I don't know for what.
I'm sorry, but no. No. Y'all need to get the fuck out of here. He does not look like Joel. Gerard Butler, I'll give you some, but not, is that Skeptic Wolf? I think it is. I always have to expand the chat because I can never read the full thing. It is. Salutations, my Canadian friend. Her and Ellie, kind of, I guess. What's this actress's name so I don't have to keep doing that?
In order to play Joel. And now let's move on to Ellie, which, to be honest, I have to personally say that I am so frustrated in terms of how they have casted Ellie in the HBO's TV show. Now, of course, all the Last of Us fans are going to get super mad at me for saying this, and you guys need to understand that people have...
You know what's funny is I don't even like the first game that much. I'm a pretty whatever Last of Us 1 fan. Second one, really good. Also, anybody who didn't... if you saw Game of Thrones is Bella Ramsey in Game of Thrones, she's like the best part of the season that she's in. She's like great. When they said when they announced her casting, I was like, makes perfect sense.
Different likings and
Caitlin Dever?
My own subjective opinions, and of course, yes, I am.
Is that what that is?
I am
no.
A huge fan
yes,
of
Caitlin Dever is the other person. Okay, I don't know people's names.
Covering Last of Us 1 and Part 2. I've been doing so many videos on these games, and trust me when I say this, he kind of does notice this, is that Ellie from the HBO TV show is actually Asian, comparing the Ellie from the video games and...
What was that? Is Bella Ramsey Asian? Is that... Last I checked, well, I mean, I guess she is like, she's British. Yeah, she's a British actress. Let's see, is an English actress, born in not... Dude, bro, what the fuck? Bro, what the Asian? She's from Nottingham. She's from literally the fucking Robin Hood. Robin Hood is in the fucking picture. What are you talking about? What is this? Fucking bro.
Adaptation, like it's completely different race that they've used here. Now, of course, there are different actors that they could have used, and this does not mean that Bella Ramsey is bad.
So they would have different faces no matter what, because you can't, like, you're not gonna get Ashley Johnson because she's too old for that. I mean, love Ashley Johnson and all, but like, yeah, they're gonna have a different face.
Really good at what she does. She's really good at acting and all that stuff. Of course, the discussion is not based on whether or not if she has better acting skills or not. The discussion here is pretty much very subjective to how the characters are not matching the descriptions of what we've seen from the video games adaptations. And now, since HBO is doing a video games adaptations of The Last of Us game, this means that they should probably stick to how the characters look like from the video game, because people are going to be expecting that's what the game was famous for, the characters, the storyline, and that's exactly...
Okay, so this is what I mean. He mentions that... Let's go back to this really quickly.
Probably stick to how the characters look like from the video game, because people...
Okay, why do that, first of all? Now, understand, he mentioned that there are... If you describe Joel and Ellie... Do you think if you wrote down descriptions of them that they would look exactly how they look in the video game? No, they would look approximate, but not exactly. So, you know, we'll keep going.
People are going to be expecting that's what the game was famous for, the characters, the storyline, and that's exactly what they're missing.
Now, let me ask you, is are people expecting, like, when people look at it and they go, that mostly looks like Joel and that mostly looks like Ellie, are they like, are they then going to be like, oh, but they don't look exactly? So I don't really know if this show's really, I don't know about that. Was the thing that like made you enjoy, enthralled you about The Last of Us the way the characters looked, or was it the emotions that they evoked? Was it the relationship that grew between the two main leads? You have to ask yourself, like, why are your priorities ordered in this way? Like, what, or at least why is this a disqualifying factor in like accuracy terms? Like, why is it that if the characters don't look 100% the same but act the same, they act the same, they emote the same, they kind of move the same, because a lot of times these guys go through like movement coaches as well. But like, if every element except like 100% of how they look isn't being recreated, why is how they're looking the thing that's like gives you hangups? Like, this person made an entire video just about like, oh hey, Ellie doesn't quite look like Ellie, which it's like, well, is that really the thing you cared about with Ellie? I mean, is it? Is that the thing that you were like drawn to Ellie for, is how she looked? I'd argue most people were drawn to Ellie based on how she acted and like and kind of her like as a person, as a three-dimensional character, not her actual three-dimensional character.
Out. And I've got to be honest though, I absolutely fell in love with all the different casts that they've done with the HBO show. Everyone else other than the main character look absolutely perfect, and that's something I cannot just understand, because HBO's done really.
Tommy doesn't look like Tommy. Wait. Do these two people? Kinda?
In terms of casting Tommy, I think Tommy could have been better, but still.
Yeah, wait, Tommy doesn't look anything like Tommy doesn't look that much like Tommy from the game. Tommy from the game, I don't even think has black hair. Doesn't he have brown and then like blonde-ish hair in the second one?
For Tommy, I guess he's still a really good actor and kind of somewhat matches the description of Tommy from the video games. But when it comes to Sarah, I'm kind of like having a mixed opinion on this one, because
this is the big one.
Black in the TV show, but in the video game, Sarah is completely different race, and they've basically changed up the entire race here. So that is something that I'm kind of skeptical. But I hope that they could just get things done here. But one of the biggest.
So luckily, I can give him some comfort here. Sarah, at no point is her experiences or her characterization informed by her blackness. Now, granted, if it was, that wouldn't really be that big of a deal, but it also wasn't part of her character the same way being white wasn't part of her character in the game. But again, like, this makes you wonder, like, this was the question that I had, and the thing that I was like getting at is, I can't help but wonder, like, for a character who you're not going to spend a lot of time with, and for a character whose characterization was about being a daughter, and that's, if you describe Sarah as a character, it's daughter first. What she looks like is rather irrelevant. I don't think anybody was emotionally moved because Sarah was a little white girl who dies during the fucking prologue of the game tragically. Like, I don't think anybody was like moved by that. They were moved by the loss of a daughter by her like father, who's the main character. Like, the loss of like a child like that in that scenario is the part that draws you to the character. And also in video games, you're tied to her for the prologue, so it also puts you in the position to really not sympathize, but that's what I'm looking for, connect, to really connect with Sarah on that level. So there's really no like, you didn't connect with her because she was a white girl. You connected with her because she was somebody's daughter seeking refuge in her parent during a incredibly stressful moment like the end of the fucking world. Like that's the thing, you know. That's the why her race mattered, as long as they hire an actress that can deliver daughter in an incredibly stressful situation like the end of the world. As long as you can deliver those two things, story-wise, it doesn't really matter what she looks like.
Biggest issues that I personally think that HBO could have done right is with the most important characters of the entire TV show, who is Joel and Ellie, and I think they have kind of just screwed up the entire thing. Now, instead of choosing Bella Ramsey, they could have easily chosen Caitlin Dever to play as Ellie, because just take a look at some of the pictures here, man. She looks exactly...
Okay. So this also comes down to like schedule. This all like this is also the thing, is it's like, well, how much does she cost? Will her schedule line up? And can she actually play the part? So this is also one of those things. Like, if you're a casting director, it's not just about who looks the part. You also need to be able to fill in those characters' shoes with depth and come to the role in your own way, because you're not going to be able to recreate that same energy. Also, let's also be clear. Taking a shot from like a movie, because that's what this is, like photoshopped out from a movie. This isn't really a fair way to frame this, mainly because movie makeup departments can make you look like a lot of different people given enough time and resources. So like just picking out the instance where like the right kind of shade of this or the right look like that, like I get it. I fan cast stuff with my friends over group text, but like that's not how real casting works. Destiny was on Lex Friedman's podcast. Do you think Vosh will ever go on? I know he's had on right-leaning people like Ben Shapiro and Jordan Peterson. I know he's I think he's talked about wanting to go on, but I don't know, dude. Like, I don't know how much Vosh needs like to go on other people's platforms. I mean, I'm sure if they're larger, he stands to benefit, but I don't know how many offers he gets. I've heard he has a lot of emails.
Exactly the
much
same.
like Hillary Clinton,
Caitlin is an
his liberal
actor.
friend.
She's won so many awards. She's really good at nailing the coffin in terms of her acting skills, and they could have easily chosen her. Now, let's say, for example, okay, Caitlin is...
I'm sure he would. I think he said he would.
As young as what they wanted to be for casting in the show. Then they could have...
Yeah, isn't she in like her 20s? That girl doesn't...
One of the main roles in the movie IT, if you guys have seen this girl, that she's also really good.
It's called It. I'm sorry. Am I nuts? Does this person never seen a movie before? Also, no. No, honey, no.
Actor, she can also get the job done.
No.
She also looks very similar to the
Does
Ellie from the
she?
video games adaptation. Now, all they had to do is pretty much just go ahead and look for better options. But what they did was...
Bro, the only way you describe Ellie, if you ask somebody, would be like white brunette. It's like all like if you ask somebody to, they'd be like, yeah, that fits the description right there.
Was pretty much just recast anyone they got from the HBO's TV show that they've already worked on with Game of Thrones, and they pretty much just got them in with the Last of Us show.
Yes,
that's
because it's called relationships.
I don't know if that is true or not, but it kind of does seem like it, because I think 50% of the Last of Us community...
It's not conspiratorial, it's just kind of how business works, and also how like casting works for major like I guess not motion pictures, but like major productions.
Are either happy, and the other 50 are really mad about casting of Ellie.
Oh, that's bullshit.
Even Joel, maybe some people have forgiven, but when it comes to Ellie, dude,
that's absolute bullshit. 50-50, dude, you're nuts. You're like in the 10%. You're like under 50% on this one, my friend. It's like bare minimum 83, 83-17 tops.
Yes, we are not talking about acting here, okay? There are better actors. Every actor is talented. Every actor can do the job if they're given the right skills and if they're given the right potential. They could obviously do it. So at the end of the day,
not all actors are the same.
Characters from the video game, since it's an adaptation, it's not a completely new show. They're adapting the show from a video game. So take, for example, they...
Right. Okay. Let's go look up the word. Let's go look up adaptation really quickly. Because it feels like this person's like mistaking adaptation for other things. Adaptation definition. The action or process of adapting or being adapted. Yeah, okay, give me adapting. God damn it. Make something suitable for new use or purpose. Modify, become adjusted to new conditions, make it suitable for filming, broadcasting on the stage. That's like, it's kind of how it works. Like, usually with casting, that is by the definition of being an adaptation, you are mostly the same but slightly different because of the constraints of the medium change.
Wouldn't choose Henry Cavill in order to play as the Witcher from the Witcher's Netflix show, and they would just choose someone who doesn't look like a Witcher at all.
Wait,
like,
but Henry Cavill doesn't really look like Geralt that much.
Really work out.
Like, he's great as Geralt. He doesn't look like him.
Is very much controversial, and there are a mixed amount of fans for this entire TV show.
Again, my dude, you are in the very small minority.
Really touching onto this topic because I don't really see people making videos on the casting on what they personally think, so I decided I would just go ahead, share my opinions. Let me know in the comments, what do you guys think about the casting? Do you think they're perfect? Do you think they're...
Let me do it right now. I'll speak to you directly. Kind of stupid. Who really cares? Like, if they're like 90% the same look and they capture like 95% of the characterization, why the fuck do I care? Honestly, the biggest difference between Bella Ramsey and the 3D model for Ellie is like Bella Ramsey has a larger forehead and slightly different like eye shapes. But like, are those the things Ellie are really known for? Is that really the thing that Ellie is known for from the franchise? Like, is that the thing that fans are like, I need that? These are the things that ground me. But anyway, okay. Whew, okay, I'm a little bit over time, but that's happens sometimes. You know the thing that they tell, like at the end of all YouTube videos where they tell you to like click on one of these like things to watch more videos. Yeah, I've been meaning to film one of those. So that's what I was doing. I was just setting it up to